Hello, and welcome to another episode of Wrestling is Her. I am your host, Raja, and I'm joined by my forbidden co-host, John.
Ooh, I am a forbidden co-host.
And we are here to bring you another special little episode of Wrestling is Her because it is Forbidden Door weekend.
Woo!
And
Woo!
we are super pumped up for this show,
Woo!
the amazing matches that are on it, and let me tell you, 4 women's matches.
4.
Out of 12 total matches announced so far.
4 women's matches.
That's a third of the entire card.
Well, yeah.
With women.
At press time.
At press time,
God
yes.
knows it could be 20 matches.
There could be more matches.
Tony's going nuts, man. He's looking around the locker room right now like, oh my God, look. The Hechicero brought friends. And you know what? That is why I love that man.
Me too. Like, he'll see something and just off the cuff be like, oh, hey, you want to be on the pay-per-view?
You're trained by ZSJ and you're back. Okay, come on.
Oh my goodness. This card is, this is the epitome of the Forbidden Door. Like, we've had 2 Forbidden Doors before this, but it was kind of just like the baby version of the Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
This year, Forbidden Door is... It's got everything and everyone.
It does, and it seems like a real turning point for me because I'm seeing some things happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing some things happen. We listen, unless you've lived under a rock, you've heard you've heard the negativity out there with some AEW stuff,
right?
And I think that some of it has been. It's a somewhat fair criticism at times, but not really. But very
fair is used loosely here.
Very small fair criticisms,
right?
And some of that would be like too many title belts, right? I think everybody has too many title belts.
There are so many title belts out in the world. Okay,
I think everybody has too many title belts for my liking. I think there should be a heavyweight title. I think there should be a mid-level title,
right? And tag team titles.
And a tag team title.
There you go.
and let's just end it there. And that's for the women. I don't mind the women having a main title and a 2 different titles. Let's just say that.
Right. Because you need the big title and then like the mid-card title.
Even doing Stardom with the white belt, red belt tag titles, and you can have a 6-man. I like the 6-man trophy. It's a world-class thing. The
6-man thing has become really prevalent.
Yeah.
Like in this generation.
Right,
it's like 3-man teams are like the thing right now.
They are. I do like having some, like back in Texas, there was... the trophies like the 6-man had trophy, right? So you're not carrying, there's not like that connotation of that's a belt.
Right. It's just a trophy passed around.
Yeah, these are our winner. And the brass knucks, they had the brass knucks belt, which today would be like your, not really hardcore because it was actually good matches.
But like the BMF title sort of thing.
Exactly. And that was also a trophy.
Oh, cool.
So,
I do love a trophy.
I do too. I think there's something cool about the trophy. I know Stardom.
It's hard to carry out with you, but it's still cool.
It is. But a lot of stuff going on right now. We're going to get right to it. Now, obviously, this is a special edition.
Yes, because we're talking about all of the matches from Forbidden Door. We're doing a full preview, letting you know who we think's going to win every single match.
We're letting you know
so excited.
Who is going to win.
Yes, this is spoilers.
Matches that we know so far.
So let's start with 0 Hour.
Let's.
And on 0 Hour, we're going to see Mariah May go one-on-one with Saraya.
Wow.
Which the whole Outcast thing has become so cool. Like Saraya and Harley, with the addition of Anna Jay now, their team is getting like, and Harley Cameron has been so impressive. I'm in love with her.
Oh, absolutely, man. She has been incredible.
She has been. I'm so impressed.
To be someone that you're looking at first. I know we were worried at first going, oh God, I hope she's passable.
Yeah, because we've never seen what she can do before.
And I didn't even get to finish my thought, by the way, about the turning point.
Oh, right.
So the whole thing is some of the criticism was fine, like the belts and stuff. I get that.
Right.
Some of the criticism is only from old men yelling at skies, just really... because of a narrative. They just wanted to, and it is what it is. If you don't like it, I don't care. The truth is the truth. If it was a different way, I would say it a different way.
Everyone likes different things.
Because I like it all.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just from an outside perspective of looking in. That's what it looks like.
Right.
But with that said, so one of the cool things here, the last week or so, I've really noticed this momentum shift. Tony Khan said on a media call earlier this week that they are, in the red zone for the media rights deal.
Right.
Media rights deal happens and it's anywhere close to what he wanted, then that shuts down any talk
of it dying.
Right? For a very long time. That's it. That's done. It's a done conversation.
Because you've got your TV deal. You're set.
It's done. It's done. And, I think that'll shut down a lot of things. You've got Forbidden Door leads right into Wembley. We've already sold 50,000 tickets for Wembley.
Yeah.
So at this point, even right now, the way it's made, the stadium's made for the show, that's a full house,
Basically, yeah. I mean, it's a ridiculous number of people.
They're going to sell. If you got 50,000 right now, when you put matches out,
oh yeah, we don't know anything.
You're going to sell 20,000. Easily. So I think that it's an incredible spectacle.
Absolutely.
And 2 years in a row is pretty damn unheard of.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's insane.
So there's a lot of good happening. I just see that the good gets better, and there's a lot of things happening. A lot of injuries are coming back.
Yes, it's like everything's coming full circle.
He talked about that. He said they're about to get Britt back. They're about to get Jamie back. They're about to get all these people back. Hangman, who wasn't injured, but
no, but he's been gone.
Whatever. But that excites me even more because I love wrestling. Me
too.
I want all of them to do well. I want all fans to do well.
Every wrestling ever to succeed, and for all the competition to make it even better.
Yeah, absolutely.
For every fan to get what they want.
And with that said, you're talking about Miss Harley.
Let me give you my thoughts on this match. I don't know if it's going to open the card, but I think something's going to happen here where Mariah gets taken out by the Outcasts, which puts into question if she's even going to come out with anyone during the Mina-Tony match.
Okay, how is Mariah going to be after being hit in the noggin with a champagne bottle?
That is a question. Mina did accidentally rock her noggin with a champagne bottle.
Is she going to be okay?
I don't know, but she has this match against Saraya, and we know the Outcasts play dirty. They're all going to be out there.
So it's not just a match, though.
No.
I mean, you're missing the big point. It's a first round match for the Owen.
Right. And that makes it even more like crazy high stakes.
So,
and I wouldn't be surprised if Saraya wins here. I know Mariah May's like, everyone wants to see Tony Mariah.
Yeah, people are right now saying that Mariah May 2 years in the future is going to look like the best get we've ever got.
Oh, absolutely. I already feel that way.
Yeah.
Mariah May is a superstar.
Oh, yeah.
But there's so many other factors surrounding this match other than the main event at Wembley, the story and everything with the Outcasts and Tony's little crew. I feel like the Outcasts are going to pull some dirty.
So I agree.
Dirty tactics here.
As weird as this is, because I love Mariah May.
Yeah, me too.
I also love Saraya though.
Yes, Saraya's great.
So I think Saraya's going to win this. I think so.
It breaks my heart because I am one of those people that wants to see Mariah May versus Toni Storm. So I think this is going to just play into later in the night when Tony and Mina come out and maybe Mariah's not there. Maybe she ends up coming out later in the match and like causing a little stir, causing someone to lose.
and let's not forget, by the time this is out, we'll be ready for Collision. And on the Collision, we also have the Owen Hart match with Hikaru Shida versus Dorano Purrazzo.
Yes, there's a lot of tournament action happening.
Hopefully Shida has went forward on that.
Hopefully Shida's up.
We're big Shida fans here.
Love Shida.
Love Shida. All right.
She's amazing.
So what's next?
So also on 0 Hour, we're going to see Willow Nightingale teaming with Tam Nakano to take on Chris Statlander and Momo Watanabe.
Wow.
Listen, Chris Statlander and Momo Watanabe is a team I just want to have all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I just want them to become a tag team. I want Chris Statlander and Oedo Tai. Like, send her over there to do some shenanigans.
So in the media call, and as of the time we're recording this, everything on the table here, this is Friday night.
Yes.
We're recording this Friday night.
Yeah.
Hopefully we got this out to you Friday night, because we're just going with it and putting it out. But the thing is, as of today in Japan, it was announced that everything was final and Stardom is now officially 100% owned by New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Right.
So that makes that opens up a lot of forbidden doors itself.
Yes, because the scheduling's going to be done differently and all that stuff. They're going to be...
And it's officially known as Stardom Inc. now.
That's amazing.
So in the wild world of Wonder Stardom, I don't think it's still the thing. I think it's just Stardom now.
Right.
But regardless...
Which is what no one calls it World Wondering Stardom. Okay.
Yeah. So yesterday during the media call, okay, Tony Khan, and yes, I did the whole thing because I couldn't sleep.
Listen to the entire thing.
I couldn't sleep last night.
Right.
So I was like, what can I do? Oh, I know.
I'll listen to Tony Khan.
The entire Tony Khan media call. So anyway, in the media call, Tony Khan also was talking about the relationship with Stardom.
Right.
And he said, going forward, you're going to see a lot of AEW women going to Japan.
Yes, that's what we want.
So I'm hoping that means that we get some over there long enough to develop, like we've seen everybody who's ever stepped in.
Yeah, like if you go into the Stardom system long enough, you're gonna get better.
Gonna get much better.
Miles better.
Yeah, so hopefully...
It only takes a couple months.
I want to see Chris go because Chris has reached out with Azumi. So many times.
And Anna Jay has that relationship with Azumi as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many possibilities.
So many possibilities, and I think that like a Chris, it would hurt us.
Well, yeah.
Not having her, but she would be amazing. She don't need to get better, but I just like to see her dominate everybody.
And we've got those qualifying matches for the 5-Star Grand Prix coming up in July.
Jesus.
So this is the perfect time to like maybe send one or two people to try to get into that.
I think an Anna Jay would make sense, even though Anna
would make a lot of sense.
I'm kind of liking her place at the moment.
Right.
But,
she just now joined the Outcast.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
It is.
There's so many fun things.
Okay, they can't have anyone.
But
no, it's us getting them. So
Willow and Tam, of course, had that TBS title match in the last month or so, which was amazing.
Right.
So now they're teaming up. They are still good friends, it seems. They're like Team Purple over here.
So Forbidden Door match, 0 hour, big time stakes here. Who do you think wins the match?
I know I just said this for the former match, but I feel like the heels have it in this one. I think Chris and Momo are going to be able to pull one over on Willow and Tam.
Okay. I don't.
You don't?
No, I think we're 0 hour. We're getting people to buy the show.
Right.
I think Willow, and only because of the other result.
Right, because of Saraya
I don't
winning the other match.
I don't think we can go heels up.
Okay.
On 2 in a row.
See, it's hard because I also kind of want something to happen with Tam and a certain other champion later in the night. So if Tam got a win here, that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like maybe over a former TBS champion.
Well, that's the whole thing. I don't think either one of these ladies can lose.
Yeah, it's a lot. Chris and Willow have this feud going on. It's hard to imagine either of them losing this early into it.
I just don't think that either one of these can. I don't think Willow.
It's a high stakes match in that who's
That's
in it.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Like all these girls.
I think
need
Tam
that.
needs to score the win.
Yeah.
To like you said, to push the fact that she gets a match.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think it would make sense for Tam. Maybe.
Are you changing your pick?
Go over Momo. I don't know. I have no idea because you have to figure in the Stardom stuff, which makes it even more complicated. I know it's not a match in Stardom, but they take all of that.
They use everything
into consideration. And Oedo Tai just had that massive win over Queen's Quest and all that, so it's really difficult.
Yeah, I mean, they right now Momokogo is wrestling in CMLL.
Yeah,
they'll use that.
But if Willow's gonna get an early lead over Chris in this story, this is a great place to do it. I think. In this tag match. Yeah. Even if Chris doesn't take the pin
it
and
could be
she just loses. It could be. There could be just disqualification. We've seen that out of Momo Watanabe plenty.
Yeah, but it's not going to be this time. I think Tam Nakano.
I think I have to agree with you. I think Tam and Willow are probably going to win.
I think so too. I think that maybe it's some messed up interference or something like that. Or even dare say, you have some miscommunication between because the Willow and Tam know each other at least.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, Momo and Chris could easily get at each other's nerves.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy with people like that.
And Momo doesn't really give a crap who she's fighting.
No, she doesn't. As long as she gets to kick someone.
That would be a cool match. Can you imagine a one-on-one between Chris and Momo?
I cannot, but I want to see it.
It'd be vicious, right?
That would be insane.
So that would be vicious.
It would be.
We've seen a one-on-one on the other side.
So we're counting on a breakdown that leads to another match.
Oh, yeah.
Between Chris and Momo.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Okay, so at best, let's call this one. Is this a push? Is this we each taking one on this, or?
Yeah, let's do it. So, I'll stick with Momo and Chris as my former pick.
Okay, and it's a push.
The final match we have for 0 Hour is an absolutely crazy person match where LIJ, Yota Tsuji, Teton, and Hiromu Takahashi are taking on Mystico and the Lucha Brothers, Wait, what?
Yeah, so just okay, on the surface,
Yeah.
it looks like, oh my God, AAA and CMLL. It's not exactly that.
Right.
You know, because the Lucha Bros are not really AAA right at the moment.
Technically.
They're, you know, but there's still, it's something no one ever thought they'd see.
Yes, in the history of AAA, the Lucha Brothers are kind of ingrained
they're
in
synonymous. They're synonymous with it. The cool thing about the future is people are rumoring that we're going to see the Lucha Bros in Arena Mexico and CMLL, which is just fantastic. But with all that aside...
Do you think the Lucha Brothers ever thought they'd be teaming with Mystico?
No, and here's the thing. Like, I seen on X where Ray Phoenix was thanking Rocky for putting this together.
Rocky?
Did you see Hiromu's reaction to finding out about this match?
No, but I'm sure it was excitement.
So I can't wait to see this but they released this because when they did a backstage segment and when they announced this match, Hiromu was basically doing cartwheels.
I love it
because it's such a match. Now listen, this is the match. This is what's funny. This is 0 Hour, right? And I know you and I debated about this because you're like, I can't believe that it's a 0 Hour match.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing, and I brought this up. Originally, a pre-show was designed to get you to want to buy a pay-per-view.
Right. That's what it's for.
If you wanted people to tune in, I can't imagine any better way to get people to tune in.
Nope. This is a flavor of what you're going to get.
This is free.
If you buy the big show.
This is free, and this is a match that, listen, you hear this old cliche. It's a main event anywhere in the world, right?
Yeah.
This is legitimately
absolutely
a main event anywhere on the planet.
Absolutely. I could totally believe that.
You could go to outer Uruguay.
Yeah.
And be like, Uruguayans, we have a main event for you at the Uruguay National Stadium tonight.
Right.
And people will be like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't even know how they sound.
It's a crazy match.
It's a crazy match. The Lucha Brothers. All right. The Lucha Brothers. Mystico.
Oh.
I mean,
I can't wait to see Hiromu up against Ray Phoenix.
It's insanity. And then you got my favorite people from LIJ.
Right. like the most fun to watch in a match people of LIJ.
Absolutely, man. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah.
With LIJ, and Hiromu Takahashi has been one of our favorite pro wrestlers.
Love him
Not
to
only
death.
have we seen him live multiple times.
Yes.
Not only has he stopped while walking around the show at a New Japan show and pointed out a shirt that you got me before it was sold in the States.
Yes.
And it was like, and he said something in Japanese to us, and we were just like, hey.
I've met him personally.
Yes, you met
at
him.
Ring of Honor.
You met him like 2017?
2017, 2018.
Yeah. And because I have never seen this girl.
I've flabbergasted myself to death.
I have never seen this girl more freaking starstruck.
It's a Hiromu Takahashi.
So she grew up in locker rooms, right?
Yeah.
She's grown up she's met some pretty big damn names, and it's never been a thing. Hellfire. The one night that Raja started in the business.
The one night I was in the locker room.
Yeah, so Raja was in the business for one day.
Oh goodness.
For one day. And she
We don't talk about it.
we don't talk about Bruno. But we're talking about Bruno this one time. So the one night Raja's in the business. This is back in 2014.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. In 2014.
What a crazy time.
This week in 2014. I'm pretty damn
somewhere around
I'm
there.
pretty damn sure it was around this time. Because I seen a memory come up not long ago.
Right.
But Raja comes out. She has her new gear on and all this stuff, and she's a second, right? She's starting.
Right. I'm just a valet.
She's starting out as a valet, as one does.
Yes.
Okay. You were only how old at that time?
I guess I would have been 20.
Yeah,
10 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years old, 19, 20, somewhere in that range. So she's there, and she's got her gear on and everything, and so in her very first match, she's there calling, in the hallway, and Hangman Page is in.
So weird.
Is on the card.
Yes, he was. I met him.
And so she gets to be part of that. Part of that conversation. She gets to meet him. She gets but he was nobody.
Yeah, this was before I even really started hardcore watching wrestling.
Yeah. So this was Adam was Adam.
Yeah.
And
just Adam Page.
Yeah, so it was really nothing. But the people that were on that card,
the people I've seen on cards
that first night, looking back, is just insanity. Really, with some of the people that were on there, and I only bring that up.
I like to kick myself sometimes.
I only bring that up because there's also been people that were of huge name that she's been around. Never have I seen this.
No, I've never really been the type to like lose myself to the celebrity side of things.
So she gets to meet, and this was when I was trying to embrace being a mark, because it was hard for me.
It was
to make any kind of transition.
But the New Japan guys were coming to town.
But this is the funny part. So I'm kind of making fun of her for the way she was with Hiromu, because Hiromu tried hugging her, and
I didn't even notice.
She was like, and then it happened.
Oh, no.
I could still hear the music in my head. I could still see the hair bouncing as this person walked down the hallway. Because I also had a moment as I turned and saw...
just kind of went blank.
Tetsuya Naito.
Oh, goodness. He's got an aura, okay?
And Naito, no matter what you would ever think, there's something that exudes from this man.
Yeah.
And I turned and I was like,
it was crazy.
It's Naito. And it was really, and it reminded me, one of my earliest days, like in the business, I got to be around Juventud Guerrera.
Oh.
Okay. So he was still on TV.
Right.
I mean, he was still like Hoovy. Mm-hmm. But I remember seeing him for the first time. Mm-hmm. And my mind shut down. It was that same kind of thing. Like, it was just really crazy. Just some people put this out.
Right.
Some people are just like normal Jones, right?
Yeah. And it's like easy to talk to them.
And Hiromu, I know for you was
it was a lot for me.
Yeah.
And this is the same night that we got to meet the Young Bucks as well.
Oh yeah.
So it was kind of a crazy night.
Well, the Bucks are so generous, and
they are.
They're
easy.
They make you feel like they're your freaking cousins.
Yeah, they do.
It's all good. But okay, so who's winning the match? With all that said, who's winning the Dream of Dreams?
I have no idea. I think it's probably going to be Team Mexico that gets the win.
So this one is crazy because
anyone could win at any moment.
How does anyone lose?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's so hard because there's so much good.
I know that we're the ones that win, right? All the fans win.
Yes. This card is for the fans.
I think Mystico pins Hiromu.
Yeah, I think Mystico and the Lucha Bros are going to get the win.
I think Mystico by pinfall over Hiromu.
That's very specific, but okay.
The only thing that would be different to that would be if we wanted to do something really cool and have, like, Mystico enter into a war with Penta or Phoenix.
That would be crazy if they had a little
they're talking about
dispute.
They were talking about having Penta come to Arena Mexico.
Right.
If you wanted to do that proper.
Right. Then the best way to do it would be for him and Mystico to kind of get at it a little.
Right. And Penta doesn't always play well with others.
Right. So it could be a situation where the Lucha Bros cause a loss or something, and Mystico's not happy about it.
So who did we say wins? We got to give an answer.
I said Mystico and the Lucha Brothers.
Okay,
win.
let's just go with it.
That's my thought.
All right.
Okay, and that brings us to the main card.
Yes, it does. Special episode, fans.
The main card, we'll start by talking about MJF versus Hechicero.
Jesus Christ.
Which is just a match that they just threw in, I think, for the insanity of it.
So it doesn't matter if it's a cold match or not.
No.
Okay, this is Hechicero. Hechicero, the crazy scientist, the mad scientist. Yes. Hechicero is amazing. You've seen it. We've seen
Technical wizard.
Technical wizard. MJF making his gallant return to pay-per-view, making his, woof of wrestling. And obviously we've seen little things with him. He says, I'm a bad guy, but he's cheered wildly.
Exactly.
We're obviously, in my opinion, headed to no matter what MJF offered Daniel Garcia, no matter what he offered him, Danny didn't really accept that.
No, and MJF kind of
rescinded
took it back
it. Yeah.
after Will Ospreay was kind of a dick and interrupted.
Right. He's like, that's a much better deal, because I wasn't excited about that.
Well,
I'll just be honest with you.
MJF Daniel Garcia is a match you see on Dynamite.
Right. For All In, I was excited for something else, and I think this told me what that was.
Kind of put it all out there.
I think that Yeah, for All Out. It put us all out for All In. So I think that at All In, we're going to get Will Ospreay versus MJF.
Which is an amazing match.
It's a match you pay for.
It needs to happen.
It's a match you pay to see.
Every time they're in the ring together, I'm excited.
And so that is perfect for that. So what does that put us for this? I think that MJF outsmarts Hechicero.
Yeah, he still uses those sneaky tactics.
It's MJF.
Yes.
Okay, Hechicero's had a wonderful string of wins, right?
He has.
And
with the Gates of Agony and at his back.
Yeah, I mean, he's been made to be unbeatable, and a lot of times guys come in like that and they're not made that way. Hechicero, even in loss, has been a winner.
Yeah.
And so I think that it's a hell of a match. It's going to be. This is one of those that could steal the show.
Yeah.
Without
like
even
sneaky, steal it out from under.
Because there's no expectation.
No, because you're like, I don't know what's going to
happen.
happen.
So MJF's up in this. I mean, it's MJ freaking
I feel like there's no way MJF can lose this.
Yeah. But it's going to be amazing.
It will be. It'll be a spectacle for sure. Then we get a trios match where the Elite of the Young Bucks and Kazuchika Okada will take on the Acclaimed and Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Wow. Now, this is one I know you sighed at first.
Well, at first, I thought it was just the Acclaimed with Billy Gunn, which is, I mean, still good.
And again, like you would have said, though, that's a Dynamite match.
Yeah, that's not even Forbidden Dory at all.
Right. So it's not Forbidden Dory. But I think this is Forbidden Dory, Finding Nemo all the way.
Yes. And it's got some layers.
It does. And those layers are...
Well, Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kazuchika Okada have a very long-standing feud.
So they're
from Japan.
They're forever rivals.
Yes.
Right? So we have that going for us in this. We have the fact of all the stuff that's been happening with the Acclaimed and the Bucks.
The Acclaimed have been very impetulant to the Young Bucks.
I also like distancing themselves from Billy Gunn because, as we noticed, we've seen some Acclaimed tag matches, and I think that we need to stop the rap coming to the ring.
Yeah.
We need to get back to just the tag team stuff. And yes. I think that that's been refueling them with me because we were all kind of Acclaimed tired.
Yeah, they kind of were starting to wear on the nerves a little.
And part of it's Max in his mouth.
Yes, Max Caster has a way about him.
It's just, he just comes off very abrasive. I don't know, man.
He does, I agree.
So...
and there's also the layer of the Acclaimed having that AEW tag team title shot coming up because they won the Eliminator match.
Yeah, true.
So there's all kinds of stuff that could happen in this match.
With that, I think that, I mean, the Bucks have never been scared to lose.
No.
But with Okada...
Yeah, with Okada in the mix.
That's the only crazy thing. Okay, so I think Okada's been used perfectly. I think
he's one of the best characters going right now.
If you'd brought Okada in and just tried doing it on his wrestling merit, which is there,
yeah,
I don't think it would have been. I think you had more of a chance to lose in a shuffle because of it. AEW was where the best wrestle.
Yes, and we've believed for years and years that Okada is a heel because he's got this very better than you air about him.
He's a frat boy.
And he comes to the ring and it's like rolling his eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like he just feels like someone you want to hate.
Yeah, and we love that Okada.
We do. It's our favorite Okada.
It's the best Okada.
I don't know why I'm here wrestling you right now, Okada.
Yeah, I don't have time for this. I love the part in a match where Okada's been toying around with his food.
Right.
And all of a sudden he turns it on to Okada.
And then it's scary.
Yeah. And then he just does, man, he throws Katie bars the door and he beats some ass. And
yeah, I think the Elite definitely have the upper hand.
I think the Elite has to win this.
Yeah.
I think the Elite has to win this.
Especially after losing that Eliminator match. It kind of makes sense.
Yeah, so the Elite's up.
Elite up for sure. Next, let's talk about the TNT Championship ladder match.
Oh my gosh.
Which will consist of Konosuke Takeshita, Mark Briscoe, Dante Martin, Leo Rush, Jack Perry, and El Phantasmo.
Oh my God. So I know we're huge El Phantasmo fans.
I love El Phantasmo.
Now, obviously...
That's not who I think's going to win, though.
So many people in this match have specialties in ladder matches.
Yeah.
You've got Mark Briscoe, who has a great history of ladder matches.
He created one.
You've got Dante, who has a very scary history of ladder matches.
God. I kind of hate that Dante's in this match. I hope he doesn't go through any tables.
You have Leo Rush, who has an incredible history of ladder matches, as long as he's not going through a table from Joey Janela and popping back up, which I'm pretty sure if we were ever to look back in time, there's 3 things that broke Jim Cornette.
Yeah.
That started this whole thing.
Right.
Okay? One of those three
was the no sell.
Is the no sell Jones.
But hey, that made Leo like mega popular.
Of Leo popping back up after taking, I believe, a power bomb through a table from a ladder.
Yeah.
And just getting right back up. Of course, other things in there is somebody who used to do things with their penis. And
who we don't talk about anymore.
We don't talk about Bruno on that one.
For real.
For different reasons, yeah. And
because he did other things with his penis, you know.
And then there was
whole deal.
There was somebody wrestling a doll back in older days. Okay, so those three things.
You're on the Jim Cornette Hate Hall of Fame.
Yes, but you know what? Look, if that's what you've been presented with and you don't watch the products,
right,
and that's all you've seen, Now I don't forgive him now, but originally him getting upset and because they used to do reactions, right? People would send him stuff, because they wanted him to yell at the crowd. Yeah,
that's what he's good for.
So it's like, hey, let's show the old man this, and you know,
it's like showing your grandpa something like progressive, and I think him going off. I think
that's what happened, tirade. And then people wanted to hear it.
Yeah.
And they just had these same people, and he's, you know,
right.
It is what it is. But I think it's funny because they've got him in a ladder match here.
It is funny, and I am terrified of this ladder match because ladder matches are so dangerous, and the people in this match are a
crazy.
Little devil may care.
So Mark Briscoe's insane, certifiably, but has been
especially
doing this wonderful thing, doing
the conglomeration.
Yeah, but he's been doing promos the way I think promos are supposed to be done. So it's weird for me. It's like, what's so special about, you know, but it's amazing. Takeshita.
Oh God.
We should hand the world to Takeshita wrapped
Absolutely.
up. But you know, he's got a big summer coming up. He's going to be in the G1.
He does.
And I'm so excited about Takeshita being in these one-on-one matches in New Japan.
Yeah, like crazy singles matches.
You talk about a forbidden door. Did you see my ink pen?
I did see it move, yes.
Okay. It didn't just move. It moved like crazy. But
it's excited about Konosuke Takeshita,
it's pretty
too.
excited about that. I thought it was going to point to the winner for me. Now, if we go through psychology.
Yeah.
We like psychology here.
Yes.
At Wrestling's Her. So if we go through psychology, there's only two winners.
Right.
Those two winners are Jack Perry.
Yes.
And Takeshita.
Right. Those are the ones that you would assume would win.
Yeah. Jack Perry almost has to win because they've already like put it out there for him. But
however,
Takeshita, I think, would be fantastic as well.
It would be really interesting.
The only problem is he's going to G1.
He is, yes. I mean, they could do a thing where, like, he goes to the G1 and everyone who beats him in the G1 eventually gets a TNT title shot.
I mean, I wouldn't be sad to have the title over there.
Yeah, it might give it a little prestige.
And it would shut some people up about us having their titles over here.
Yeah. So he comes out for every G1 match carrying that red belt. Yeah. It would be cool.
It would also be cool just to put it on the line in every match.
Yeah. Like, you want this? You got to beat me.
Eddie Kingston somewhere right now in the Bronx going, no! Don't do it.
Honestly, if I was gonna make a crazy pick, I would say throw that belt on Leo Rush and see what he does with it. Just let him go and see what happens.
He's with us now, so
yeah. It's kind of hard though to pick against Jack Perry after all the pomp and circumstance. You know, but that almost makes it like he's not going to win.
So it's hard for me because there's also a world champion in this match.
There is.
And
Mark Briscoe.
That bothers me to no end. But the traditionalist in me makes it feel, and we know Ring of Honor's NXT.
Yeah.
And we know this.
Yeah.
Okay. But I get mad when the NXT champ gets jobbed out too.
Yes.
On the main roster.
It's really difficult to pick a winner out of this lot.
It really is. That's why
I think I'm going to go Takeshita though, just because I love the idea of it.
All right. Takeshita on the ladder match. I'm gonna do my pick too. So I think Dante Martin's winning the belt.
Why did you say there's only two winners?
I wanted to do a swerve there at the. It's Jack Perry. It's Jack Perry.
Dante would be a good TNT champion in all seriousness, but I don't
Jack Perry's going to win it because it makes sense. It gives it gets you to layer the boys in gold.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Jack Perry,
I could totally see that happening, but I'm still gonna stick with Takeshita.
Hey, it's another push.
I think it'd be cool.
I'm glad for 2 pushes so far.
So let's talk about Orange Cassidy versus Zack Sabre Jr.
So Zack Sabre Jr. this past week apparently wrestled Hechicero, and
Which is mind-blowing.
Arena, Mexico.
Just to think about.
And on Tuesday. On Wednesday.
Just on a Tuesday.
On Wednesday, he made his, listen, ZSJ is ungodly.
Oh, God.
And he has done...
He's one of our favorites.
Oh, yeah. And he's done nothing... Oh, dude.
He's
on our
up
old
there.
show, on our previous podcast that you can even find video version of, which is a lot of fun to go back and watch, by the way.
Jesus.
And Jesus Christ, was that show good.
It was fun.
It makes me want to bring it back sometimes just because of how good it was. When I went back and looked recently, I was like, oh my God, we did a good job on that.
Yeah, it was a lot of work too.
Yeah. I seen your eyes die a little when I said it. But,
I enjoyed myself.
ZSJ was a returning character. Me doing ZSJ.
Yes, you doing the ZSJ voice because
I can't even do it.
It's so great.
Yeah, I can't even do it now.
He talks nonstop during matches, after matches. Like he just shit talking all the time.
If you don't know ZSJ continuously is haunted by the ghost of George Michael.
He's not haunted. He talks to George Michael.
Former lead singer of Wham. And to him, George Michael's purely alive and just likes to stand there in the ring during his matches or beside him.
Oh, jeez.
I love it. I love the guy.
Me too.
He's wackadoodle.
And he's amazing in the ring.
And that's the thing. He's a veteran, a true veteran.
He is.
And he's also one of the best professional wrestlers on the planet Earth.
Absolutely.
I tend to, honestly, this is controversial at times. If we're just talking pure wrestling, I think ZSJ, Zack Sabre Jr., is the greatest professional wrestler alive.
he is a master of his craft.
I'm not saying he is my very favorite. I'm saying he is the best professional wrestler.
Yes.
If we're doing professional wrestling things in a professional wrestling ring.
Yes, and he's been a staple of New Japan, and he's never really got to that top tier, but he's never complained about his spot. Yeah. He keeps working, doing his thing. Love to see him.
With that said,
I love this match. I love the fact that you're taking Zack Sabre Jr. and putting him against someone so unconventional like Orange Cassidy, because you can't just wrestle Orange Cassidy.
I love the fact that it's a callback to last year's Forbidden Door and unresolved issues.
Absolutely.
So
these two have kind of been like facing off for a while.
Yeah, Mr. Orange Bollocks.
Zack doesn't forget, obviously.
So I honestly think ZSJ beats Orange Cassidy only because of the crazy year that Orange has had and this downward spiral he's had.
Right, this whole thing with Trent and all that.
Orange has had nothing but success and wins and, in spite of craziness and odds and all this. I don't think that happened. I think that something happens here with ZSJ winning because maybe some outside interference. I hope not.
Yeah, hopefully no Don Callousness
I hope not, but if there's going to be a spot where something could happen, this is it.
I agree, but it's hard for me to pick against OC in a spot like this. I could totally see him pulling out the orange punch out of nowhere and just laying Zack to rest.
The cool thing about it is I see ZSJ working in a appendage.
Yes, absolutely.
And I can see Orange is one of the best sellers in wrestling. I mean, if you think hard enough in your head, you can see Orange selling a move, selling a leg, selling something, and he's done it. Think about his best of anybody run as a champion.
He's probably going to attack his hands so he can't put them in his pockets.
His weekly freaking, when everybody's like, take a break, dude.
Yeah, his insane defense record with the international title.
And he just kept going.
It's just crazy.
So, with that said,
it's so hard.
You know what? You're right.
I think OC's going over.
You're right.
As much as I would love to see Zack get a big win on a big show like this.
Orange Cassidy
it's for the win.
It's Forbidden Door. It's the forbidden fruit.
Even if it's a thing where the Don Callis family tries to get involved and Zack is like opposed to it because he doesn't want that to happen, and then he ends up losing, and that sets up like maybe Trent and Zack or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
You never know what could happen.
So forbidden fruit wins.
Next on the docket, we have the AEW Women's World Championship match. Timeless Tony Storm, versus the Venus, Mina Shirakawa, in a match for the title and for Mariah May's love. Okay. Which I'm not sure how good of standing Mina has at this point.
Well, Mina apologized on X.
How much does an apology mean when you ram someone in the head with a champagne bottle by accident?
It's got me through before.
I mean, she was aiming for Tony.
Yeah,
which doesn't make it much better.
that's true. Listen, this match has been built stupendously. It's
so good.
It's been built as good as a match can be built.
This goes all the way back to Philadelphia.
It goes all the way back to Philadelphia. It's got layer upon layer upon layer. You can go back in time and look at Toni Storm as a Stardom champion, right? And that has partly something to do with this.
Because it's Stardom adjacent.
Mariah May said, you're my idol. I love Toni Storm. She wanted to take the same path as Toni Storm took. And so she goes to Stardom. She, does that stuff. She comes to AEW and she's mimicking her, so that whole thing has its own story built in there where someday we know that Mariah May is destined to defeat Toni Storm. Okay.
To surpass her.
Right. So that's like the teacher-student thing we all love.
But if you look at it, back in Stardom, you could kind of say that Mariah was mimicking Mina Shirakawa a little bit. She kind of got right into that Club Venus mindset with the cutesy pink and the dancing and everything.
Yeah.
She kind of has a thing about her with these women that she idolizes.
You're totally right. In Stardom, another layer to this onion is the fact that she went in there and fell in love with, Mina Shirakawa.
She did.
Joined the group and was absolutely her second.
Yeah, they were tag team champions.
They were synonymous.
They were amazing.
Rose gold, baby.
And then she came over to AEW and kind of forgot a little bit about Mina. And Toni Storm is here, and she loves Toni Storm.
And Mina found her way.
She did. First, Toni just butt into their celebration at the Stardom in America show. And then Mina decided to do the same.
And we've seen some jealousy going. And we've also seen Toni, this weird thing happen where the fans, we've talked about it before.
Yeah.
Talent gets cheered.
Yes.
The Road Warriors were supposed to be heels.
Right.
But they were cheered wildly.
Right.
They even called it the Road Warrior Pop.
If people like to see you in the ring, they're going to cheer for you.
If you're good, the fans are going to love you.
Right.
Regardless of what we want to say they are.
Right.
Toni has been getting cheered wildly. And any match she's in there, people are chanting Toni, Toni, Toni. Yeah. So, that is, it's hard to imagine a world that Toni Storm's not the champion.
Absolutely.
But
Mina definitely has a fighting chance.
But if there was a match where something could happen.
Yeah.
To set up something later.
Yeah.
It would be a fantastic win.
It feels like this is what this is for.
If Mina would win the AEW women's title.
Right.
And you had a Stardom competitor win the world title and take it back to Stardom.
That's a big deal.
It's a huge deal, pal. And actually have Toni have to go to Japan maybe.
Right.
To win that belt back.
Yeah, or even send Mariah to get it.
Yeah. Well, that would be insane, would it not?
It would be insane.
And, so there's a lot of things that can get us to All In.
Right. And looking at it through an AEW lens, it makes total sense. But because we're such big fans of Stardom, looking at it in that sense, it makes more sense if this was like Mayu Iwatani or Shiri or someone like that.
It does, but from the story aspect, it doesn't.
The story is all there with Mariah in the mix.
Yeah,
and
the ability.
The fact that opposing like Mina and Toni are in their characters, they're very different.
But nobody else could speak English.
That's very true. Mina has that up on everyone. So
if you were asking which one of these upper echelon stars can come here now,
right,
do this story and do English promos.
Yeah, it's Mina all the way.
I mean, Mina has a degree in English.
She does, yes, and she's kind of gotten a little big for her britches, like demanding that Mariah choose between her and Toni and trying to attack Toni.
She seems like the heel to me.
She does. She's acting like the heel.
The very first of We Want Mina was. She started that.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
And then Toni's relationship with Mariah being more like motherly and nurturing, and Mina's kind of trying to steal her away from that.
Mina's just being.
She's a jealous little thing.
So I think
Toni's probably gonna win.
I think Mina Shirakawa wins the belt.
No, I just can't do it. I think Toni's gonna keep it, I think Mariah.
I've thought it since day one.
I think Mariah's gonna have something to do with it, and her choice is gonna matter here.
I think so too. Mina Shirakawa wins the belt.
All right.
And so it's a push.
Next, I want to talk about the first round Owen Hart Tournament Cup match between Bryan Danielson and Shingo Takagi.
Oh my God. Another dream match.
Yes. And a crazy dream match.
Yeah, just a dream match. Yes, it's in the Owen Hart tournament.
Which makes it even higher stakes because the winner of that tournament gets the main event at Wembley All In.
Yeah, which is huge. Yes. Bryan's last run, right?
So they're both dragons.
It is Battle of the Dragons. Shingo, former New Japan World Champion.
He is.
And, Bryan is a former world champion.
Yes.
In the world.
They've both got a lot of years and experience.
Lots of accolades.
Yes.
And lots of love from me. Mm-hmm. Both of them, I have shirts right now in my closet.
Yeah.
Multiple.
They're two massive people in our minds.
It's insanity.
And this is like a clash of the Titans right here.
Shingo has been putting out how much he wants to go through, obviously. And there's also been talk about Shingo being around for a while.
Yeah, I would be so cool with that. Have Shingo in AEW more permanently.
Bryan wants to have a run.
Bryan is ready for those wins to start racking up.
Bryan has talked about wanting a chance to win that world. Now, listen, you talk about Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine Bryan Danielson winning the belt at All In, and then we vacate the belt because he retires?
Honestly, I totally could.
And then we have what tournament coming up through the winter?
Ooh, the Continental Classic.
So we have the Continental Classic, but this time maybe we put
the World Championship on the line?
Yeah.
It would be such a cool story to see Bryan Danielson finally make his way up through the AEW ranks and get that world title. He's had shots for it in the past, but he's never really been able to make it happen. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know if it's Bryan Danielson to win this tournament and get the main event at Wembley and win the title. It feels weird.
Yeah.
To think of him doing all of that. Just because it's Bryan Danielson. He's always having the best matches and coming out on, not on top of the match for the win, but coming out looking even better than he did before somehow.
He has that ability. But I think with that all said, I think he beats Shingo here.
Yeah, I think he's going to win this match for sure.
I think he beats Shingo, or they have a time limit deal. Something.
Time limit draw.
Yeah.
He does love those.
And that would eliminate both from the tournament.
That would be sad. But I think Bryan's going to win.
I think the Dragon wins.
Yeah. So from former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion to the current one, Jon Moxley will be taking on Tetsuya Naito in a rematch for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. And their first match for this belt, when Jon Moxley won the belt, was so good. I can't imagine what they're going to pull out in this match.
Everybody is it's a foregone conclusion.
It feels like that way.
That Naito gets the belt back here. That's why I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, it seems set up to feel that way.
Everybody I've seen pick has picked Naito, and they're like,
we've already talked about this, though. Yeah. Like what we think is going to happen. Right. We're pretty sure Jon Moxley's in this for the long haul. Yeah. Like to Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
Sort of long haul.
I think that it goes against it. I think they just keep breaking people's hearts here.
They just keep that belt on Jon Moxley.
And Jon Moxley not in G1 is what everybody's pointed to.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, if he's not in G1, he's not a champ. That's only happened 2 times ever.
But there's a precedent for it.
Yeah.
So it could happen again.
It could happen. And I think it's funny to do that with people that know everything.
It is.
So
could you imagine if Konosuke Takeshita wins the G1 and then him and Moxley have a rematch for the IWGP belt at Wrestle Kingdom?
I can't imagine that. That's amazing.
It's like the wildest possibility that could possibly happen.
We were talking about best wrestlers and who I think is greatest wrestlers and all this stuff.
Right.
So, then we talk about favorite wrestlers. Well, Mox is my favorite.
Mox is the man.
Mox is the epitome of hard work.
I know that AEW and the Bucks and Kenny and all them revitalized wrestling, but I don't think that happens without Jon Moxley.
No.
Jon Moxley, when he showed up in New Japan 5 years ago, that's what started the revolution. Yeah. In my opinion.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That was the moment the switch flipped.
You talk about somebody that makes it feel like it's a big deal, right? Yeah. And we've been there front row for everybody. We get that feeling of certain people. Cody Rhodes had that feeling.
He did.
It changed it changed things when he would come out.
Yeah.
Mox also.
Good Lord. He has this ambiance about him, and you can just tell how much he loves what he's doing,
Remember
how
being in
passionate
Cincinnati?
he is.
Like,
being in Cincinnati and seeing Jon Moxley live is another tier of fun.
it just felt like and you don't always get that at somebody's home field. And
right.
We've been to like nearly 30 shows.
Yes.
Okay.
Closing in on it.
It's closing in on 30 AEW shows.
Yeah.
And
there's nothing like being there to see someone come home to wrestle, especially someone like Jon Moxley.
Jon Moxley is one of those top 5 appearances.
Yeah.
The memories, just the way that crowd.
Yeah. It's like Cody Rhodes in North Carolina and Jon Moxley in Cincinnati.
That's the two that really stick out.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's crazy.
So with that said, I personally think there's a lot of story here, but listen,
it feels like Mox is going to somehow pull this out.
I think it's like,
even if they hit the time limit or something. I think
it's almost a funny thing, really.
Yeah, it's almost like we've made this so obvious that this is the way it's going to go.
Right.
and then they swerve you at the last second.
Yeah, well,
nothing's ever set in stone in
you
wrestling.
You got to swerve when you drive, buddy.
So Mox.
All
right, before we get to the main event, let's talk about the title for title match that everyone's been talking about. For the TBS title and the New Japan Strong Women's title, Mercedes Moné versus Stephanie Vecchia.
Yeah, so...
Holy moly.
Listen.
This is a rematch.
Yes.
Because these two faced in the original New Japan Strong Women's tournament for the belt, where Mercedes beat Stephanie Vecchia in a great match. But in that time, since Mercedes has been hurt and gone, Stephanie has made her way to being one of the top women's wrestlers in the world. And she carries a lot of gold with her currently.
Mercedes has this thing that when she wrestles, it feels like a shoot.
It does.
Now, I'm not talking about Sasha. I'm talking about Mercedes Moné.
Yes.
When she's out there, she's against the world. She's against doubters. She's against people on a roster that almost feel like in a bully kind of sense. When they get in the ring, they want to show.
Yeah.
And most of them probably was inspired by Sasha in the first place.
Right.
But when Mercedes is out there, she has a lot to prove. And she has a lot on her shoulders with things she says. You got to back that crap up.
Yeah.
And I have not seen her fail.
I've never seen her fumble the ball.
No.
Since she started doing this outside of WWE.
She puts so much work in.
She does.
To be great.
She works so hard.
Stephanie has done nothing but wow us since the very first time we seen her. Now, we've watched her matches, her small matches, her big matches. She always puts on a performance of the night.
And she's scary.
And she is terrifying. She is, she takes things. She takes and takes and takes.
Yes.
So if you want to get something in against her, you kind of have to...
You're going to have to struggle to get it.
Yeah, you got to push for it.
I think Mercedes is definitely going to feel that in this match. I think it's going to be very different than from their first match because Stephanie has become that person over the past year and a half.
Big difference in being the man. And, you get that, you know what it feels like to be the main person on the show.
Right. And this is a pay-per-view for 2 titles.
Listen, it's the loneliest place being on top. And
Stephanie could potentially add the TBS title to her current run of championships, but there's something to be said about Mercedes Moné when she's in this position. She never like withers. She's never scared or intimidated. She knows what she's about. And I think she's going to prove it.
I think there's going to be a hostile crowd. And I think that Mercedes is already looking at that. Like she's like on X, she was like, morning marks or something like that,
She's so good.
Which I love that. And she'll embrace it though. That's the thing. We've seen her have the crowd go either way.
Yeah.
And even if they boo, do they not start chanting
absolutely
for her like within 5 minutes?
Yeah, because it's Mercedes. I mean, you love to dislike her. She's a heel at her core.
Right.
That's what she's meant to be.
Right.
She does it perfectly.
Right.
But we still love her.
So the only thing I could think is how interesting it would be if somebody showed up during this match.
I think there's definitely going to be some kind of surprise, whether it's after the match to challenge for one of these belts or during the match to distract someone. I don't know, but I think Mercedes is going to end up with both belts by the end of it.
I think so too. I do. I don't doubt her.
She needs that belt, that purple belt that was made for her.
I can't doubt her. So I think it's Mercedes.
And whether Tam Nakano comes out and is like, I'd love to fight you, or somebody comes back that I say every single pay-per-view, like Jamie Hayter or Britt Baker or somebody.
Or even Natalia.
Or Natalia comes out, that would be freaking crazy. Oh, yeah. I love it though.
I do too.
I love the anticipation, even if nothing happens, because obviously that does happen because they don't announce things. Like, it's a surprise for a reason.
Yeah.
But just having the anticipation going into it makes it so much fun.
Well, it makes this whole weekend fun.
It does. But that brings us to the main event of the evening for the AEW World Championship. Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay.
Right.
And Will Ospreay earned this match by winning a gauntlet, a very unique gauntlet. That was amazing. And he has been in big positions on the Forbidden Door cards the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Whereas Swerve, as he's talked about, was on the pre-show both years.
Right.
But now he's the main event against Will Ospreay, the epitome of the Forbidden Door, Will Ospreay.
So Will Ospreay has had maybe the past 12 months has been the best 12 months anybody's ever had in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
We talked about best wrestler in the world, right?
Yes.
So if you want the best wrestling matches in the world,
yeah, you're going to look at Will Ospreay.
Will Ospreay. And, you know, if you want a chance to have a 5-star match,
you're going to fight Will Ospreay.
Regardless if you're, you know, Earl the Scrug guy, you know, or freaking Swerve.
Yeah, he elevates everything he touches.
So I think that these guys, I think Swerve, his whole title reign, he has stuff to prove.
Yes.
You know, and unfortunately. But
he's had to scrape and claw his way to the top and make sure people know who he is, what he's about, and why he deserves to be here.
And once he gets it, they're like, he don't deserve it. You know, like, I hate it.
Right.
And it's like Swerve was a good thought for people.
Yeah.
Those people.
Yeah.
To think, oh, why doesn't Swerve get his? Swerve should get his, because they didn't really believe he was going to. Now, I might be controversial in saying that.
Right.
But when he got it, where were those people at?
Yeah.
Because I was there.
Yeah.
I remember doing freaking flips in our bedroom.
We were freaking out.
You know, just completely excited about Swerve being the champ, being the man, being, you know, it. And I think that there's a lot here because of Swerve's. There's a lot coming up for Swerve.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about All In.
Yeah, All In is coming up fast.
I think that
there's a main event that needs to be made.
Well, I think that All In could have a match as well that needs to happen on All In.
Right. A match that I'm thinking of, probably. A match that needs to redo.
If the Bucks have the Elite has their person is supposed to be coming.
Yes, their wild card in the Owen tournament.
The wild card. And if we go wrestling psychology, Rasha.
Yes.
The surprise person does what normally?
Wins the whole shebang.
Right. So the surprise person we think is going to be a returning Hangman.
Yes. Adam
Page.
Hangman Page looking to get back at Swerve for all the dirties he's done him.
Yeah, and he can't understand why people cheer him, and which I can't either, honestly. But I love it.
And Hangman in the Elite makes all the sense in the world.
And we talk about matches people would pay for.
Oh my God!
So Hangman versus Swerve is one of the greatest matchups ever.
It has been. It has proved to be.
We've had some of the most memorable moments, for good or bad.
Yeah.
Some of the most memorable moments we'll ever have in pro wrestling from these two.
And imagine that on a stage like Wembley.
So Swerve retains here, which I think happens.
Yeah.
Because I think that Will Ospreay is Will Ospreay. And I think he's got a belt, you know, that's not on the line.
No. And
the thing that can happen here is finally sever the ties with Don Callis.
That would be perfect. That needs to happen.
Don Callis is nonstop talked about this freaking, you know, getting the Tiger Driver 91.
Yes.
So that moment comes where he can win it.
Yes. And
Will Ospreay is like, F you, that's not going to happen. And then we have maybe Hanger. You know, who knows?
Or Don Callis member turning and like beating up Will Ospreay or something.
Something like that.
Cause him to lose.
We separate, we make Will the babyface he is. And to be a great babyface, you need to be battling from the bottom.
Yes, absolutely. Like, people need to want to see you climb your way back to that title.
All he's done is win.
Yeah.
So that would be fantastic, for that to happen. And that would also leave Swerve with the championship.
Yes.
And that way we have, Paige.
Swerve Hangman on top at Wembley.
Swerve Hangman on top at Wembley.
Where it deserves to be.
We have Will Ospreay babyface versus MJF.
Yeah, because that totally opens the door for an international championship spot for MJF, especially knowing MJF if he's like, oh, you couldn't get the big deal done, could you, buddy? Like MJF does.
Right, yeah. And it's
you lost your family. Oh, boo.
Some ready-made, not just great matches, but ready-made great matches that are grudge matches.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. God, I'm excited.
I think Swerve wins this.
Me too. I think because if you think about it, I know people are chomping at the bit to be like, put Will Ospreay on top at Wembley. He's got years to do that.
Yeah.
He's got plenty of time to be that guy. and he doesn't really need to be that guy to be the guy.
When you throw too much at once.
Yeah.
There's things that don't go right. I mean,
just think about Will Ospreay versus MJF, like even opening the show at Wembley. Like, that's mind-blowing to think about that match.
I mean, thinking about the people on this amazing card and then thinking about the people that still even are not on the card that are amazing. I mean, Jay White.
I know. It's insane. They're like, the trios belts are nowhere to be seen. They might throw them in after Collision. You never know.
Maybe, but it's just crazy.
It's wild. The stacked deck of talent that we have, like, from all of these companies, and the possibilities that are open for Wembley and beyond.
Yeah, but I'm excited. Listen, this card is a banger.
Oh, it's so good.
From top to bottom, AEW always over delivers. On pay-per-view.
You're gonna be out of breath and ready to sleep for 2 days.
You're not gonna get to pee for 5 hours. Guaranteed.
No bathroom breaks, so make sure you have your bottles or whatever ready to go.
So that's that. I mean, I'm excited about this, man.
Oh man, me too.
Let's get it going. Forbidden Door.
Yes, and we will be back after the fact to talk about all the good wrestling from this weekend, including Forbidden Door, including Stardom, everything that happens. And follow us on Twitter at Wrestling Is Her, because we're going to be live tweeting everything this weekend as we go. And make sure you join us next time, because we're super pumped about wrestling all the time. And we love to talk to you about it. But for now, I'm Raja. He's John. And that's all from Wrestling Is Her. Bye.
Bye.